is 4 o'clock on July the 9th. Nope, July 10th. Can't even keep track of the days. We're getting ready to get on the road and drive ultimately that way, but we're gonna leave that way. And over there is Bethel Church in Redding, California. And we're leaving by way of Oregon, eventually crossing over into, I think, 244 California Highway. So, taking that rig, leaving that one behind, about packed up and ready to go. We made it. 500 miles. Almost drove straight here. This is hot. I wasn't ready for this heat. It's 112 right now. And it is baking off the parking lot. I was not ready. Well, it's like 6:40, nope, 6:34 in the morning. We are in Redding, California. And just so we're clear, I have worked in SoCal many times, and it is not this kind of hot. Redding is something else. This car, this is our 06 Volvo. It's got 240,000 miles, and it made the 500-mile trip just fine from Boise to Redding. So it's going to be here for the next 10 days. My wife's going to use that while she's here. And now that I have safely gotten here with her, I am leaving. She's actually going to drive all the way home on her own for 500 miles, which is it's a pretty long drive. I was tired. I only had like 3 hours of sleep when we left. I was pretty tired driving here. The heat was also just like a huge wake-up call. You know, there's just really no way to prep for that. It was 112 yesterday. And then, of course, walking on anything pavement just made that so much worse. So anyway, today I catch 2 flights to get to Boise. So we'll go from Redding out to San Francisco, and then San Francisco to Boise. And I'm going on an airline that I do not like, which is United. United sucks. It's just, they do. But we picked our flight at like 2 in the morning. I was able to get home for like $108. So for that price, I'll deal with whatever. Won't get home till like 4 p.m. or something like that. So It's gonna be another long and late travel day. My wife has class starting at 8 or 8:30, so literally have to eat breakfast and just get dropped off at the airport. And right back where we started. Oh, it's hot. All right, I think our game plan for the day, since we're between building 3 and all of our stuff at door 5, I think what we're gonna do is go pre-game the building a little bit, get some AC running in there. It's supposed to be 105 today, and just the heat alone is gonna wear me out. It's like 11:55. I slept in pretty late today. I did a 3-day run, and in between Tuesday at 8 in the morning and Thursday at, I don't know when I went to bed last night or this morning, like 2, I only had slept 8 hours between that Tuesday to 8 and Friday to 2 in the morning. That's pretty whipped. Did that 500-mile drive to Redding, was there all day, flew back. So now we're just doing show prep. This is full prep month with shows that we have going out, camp stuff out, coordinating driver schedules and all of that. So July is kind of a head down month. Really not a lot of time to come up for air. Just got to knock stuff out, get it finished. Back at building 3. All right, so one of the bigger things that we have to do is prep for camp, but we also have our now August 4th event in the Old Timers Pavilion in Boise. Our entire church is going to be there on a Sunday and not in our building. So that means we have a lot of stuff that's going to not only be used at camp for that month-long period, but also the moment it comes back, it's going to go produce a show in Boise. The show is a little bit different than the camp loadout, just because of the logistics around the location in Boise. So some of this gear has to be prepped for that. Also, shortly after that, we're going to start getting our things ready for fall, for one of our groups to be back at Boise State every week. So we've got cases to kind of start changing out for them, get some rebranding and painting done. So we've got this all to kind of start walking through, make sure we have what we need, and go from there. So at this point, we need to see if the trailer is gone. Given that I can't see sunlight coming through that one door, I'm thinking trailer is not gone. The other thing that we have to do is start our tear down from the event that was over here in building 3. And we got to get all this stuff out. Need to get the lift back over to our main location, start cleaning up all this gear, and taking the drape out. The drape is actually not a slow process, or not a fast process. It took me a long time by myself to put the drape in. So I have learned that if I'm going to do drape, I need to farm that out because it just takes a lot of time. But it's time to pull all of this out, get it down, and I just can't believe it. We leave Sunday morning, so we have a day and a half of full available work time just to get everything together, so we got to mush. All right. Back at door 5. Now it's crunch time. All right, we are starting some of our final push. Things are gonna come out of this room for the final time. Gonna get some of our bigger cases and things out of the way. The worst part about moving anything, whether it's your house or in this case a shop and stuff like that, it's just the sheer amount of small things. There always is just so many small pieces that just take forever. Like in the repair section of our room, we have hundreds and hundreds of different bolts, wiring connectors, all kinds of stuff, you know, it's just so many things. So we have to start getting all those moved. It's just going to be a long process, and with no time. We have a ton of things going on. Now we're wrapping up here on the camp prep. So for the show in Donnelly, not this case, actually this is getting rebuilt and turned into something else. That's another cool project we'll show in the fall. Got a Nord stage 3 going to camp. We've got Shure wireless antennas for vocals, antenna for IEMs, bunch of wireless mics, another bunch of wireless instrument packs in there. We've got our PSM 300s, PSM 200s, bunch of graphic stuff, base of the drum kit, got the power trunk, DMX trunk, stands, cajon, master stand kit, representer. We've got our bass amp. Most of our electrics are done with emulators. We got the Pearl pedal for the drum kit, hardware kit, QTV for lyrics, the tour kit for microphones. It's one of the festival kits. Then we've got our gig case, which I think is gonna be the one that lives there. We'll send something else for a different show. We've got our padding for drum kit, our bar, and our panels. And then we've got lighting, a bunch of miscellaneous smaller stands in case that's not gonna go. And then the rest of this is actually all stuff that's going to building 3. Some of it's gonna go on this show, but will get packed out. But all of that sorting is happening now. So really, I'm going from here back to building 3, and we're gonna go tear down the air system from the July 4th week, because we haven't done that yet, and start packing all those things up, make room for, you know, a bunch of the small things that we have still left in this room. But honestly, we don't have much to go. That is gonna take forever, but we're not far from getting it finished. So we've only been in our main room today for, I don't know, 3 or 4 hours, and already I've put away about 2/3 of a gallon of water. And that's just being inside. I've not really had to be outside much, but it is hot. Our building doesn't really have AC, so man, it'll wear you down. Let me tell you what, heat is a killer on engines and people, machines of all kinds. It's just a lot to deal with. We still got to get tires on this trailer. I'm not going to be able to get anything packed. Nice. That tree looks great. That's really cool. We got that one to pack. So we're going to take the car out again because it's got AC. Figure out that trailer later. Got some maintenance to do, but for right now it's just hot. Well, it is prep for camp morning. I'm cleaning out one of our borrowed trailers from its previous many uses, because we're gonna send this sucker up to camp. Jeez, whatever pulled that loose was huge. So we have 100 miles to go for this next round, and we leave tomorrow. Crew of 4. But we have 2 crews basically working tomorrow. So we've got our normal stuff, which is Sunday morning and all of the things that go for that. Lighting, director, camera, all those things. But we also have our load in at Faith Heights. It's all taking place at the same time. So we are crewing 2 locations, and then we also still have our Monday needs. So we got plenty going on. Yeah, I don't know how those 2 things got together. We're gonna ignore that for now. I don't have time to waste. It's supposed to be 106 today. It's already clearing into the 90s. I'm already sweating. It's very hot. And it has been nothing but hot for the last several days. And to be honest with you, I'm so sick of the heat. There's been just so much heat. Grass is just dying. You know, stuff just can't do 106. That's how it is. We got both buses out. We still have issues, but we're sending them anyway. It's just, we got a lot going on. So it's time to load out all of this stuff. So I'm gonna get going. So most of this show is built off of the show plot that we put together specifically for the camp run. And because the majority of this stuff is going to be out for a month, I have put together something that works for our 3 camps and for a group that's going to be using our stuff in between our 2nd and 3rd camp. Something that makes sense. They understand not only what's available to them, but what to put back when they're finished. Let's see if we can find that. So here's the plot. We're doing base truss in the back for lighting, and then we'll have some uplights throughout the band that'll come up at angles, kind of help define the space. I might even do some at the top, just depends on what kind of time we have. These tops are going to be more or less blinders down into the band, and then uplight with color LEDs. We're basically doing kind of our traditional 5-piece, which is drums, bass, acoustic, electric, and keys. And then we've got a tracks rig. Keys usually subs as MD, and a cajon that sits out in front of the kit for morning worships usually. 4 vocals all time, power for them, snake drop for them, 2 front wedges for preach, and then of course that's just the system that's in-house. And then we provide a input list for that show, so something simple, you know, with everything that we intend to have on that show. I'm sure there will be edits like there are for any show, and then what monitors look like. So this show is the pack, this is the layout, this is what everybody will go off of when they're building this. And I basically put that and an Excel sheet together that I have for the inventory of what's going on the show, and that goes on the truck. So pretty much we're gonna get ready to start loading this in. The last couple camps, our load-in has been pretty small, which is really convenient. And normally I take truck 15, but as some of you know, truck 15 is down. I can't keep it running. So this is our main case. It's got our digital snake in it. It has all of our wireless, just a ton of really, really good stuff that's going to be very helpful for what we're doing. So it's got our tape, it's got our DI boxes, all that stuff. So basically, we've never done this before. Front of house is going to have this next to it, and graphics will operate on the top and all that stuff. But the cool part is that everything we need is in drawers right here, kind of like a work case. We would normally leave this on stages at the stage, not in the back. But for this show, we just have a lot of different setup needs, and so this is going to live at front of house and basically just be a work case from there. So we're going to load this trailer. We're going to try to keep the heavier things towards the wheels and not the tongue, because we don't want to max out the tongue weight, but you know, first go. So we're going to try to make this easier. We need to get a quick marker so we can mark this stuff out. Not me buying Sharpies by the 36 count pack. There's a reason for that. And that reason is because I leave stuff everywhere. before I forget, because this is the DMX trunk, I should put the wireless DMX in it. That would make sense. Okay, we just use these cheap Donners. I probably have 30 of them, and they're super great for sticking on shows, especially things like camp load-ins. I don't have to deal with running cable everywhere, burning hundreds of feet of line, needing a distro, all of that. Just avoid it. And then when you go to pull it down, it's just easy to pull down. However, something I totally forgot about is that at every light, oh no, I got it. Yeah, so we have these mini jumpers, which are awesome, but these are really important. We use these a lot to power the DMX receiver and the light together. So pretty much every light on the show that's gonna be taking signal is just gonna pull off one of those. So that's awesome. Glad I have those on there. We do have a couple of 100-footer DMX runs, just in case we need it. You know, stuff happens. Hopefully nothing gets broken, but if it did, we wouldn't be out of business. All right, drones next. So our kit that travels, we have 3. As a company. This one is a Gretsch Catalina kit. It's a really basic kit from Guitar Center. It's been on the road for us for, oh shoot, 13 years. I think we've been moving this kit. We use Evans heads for the toms and the snare. We use Aquarian for the kick. Both for the batter head and the resonant head. And normally we send up 2 snares, but most of our drummers bring their own snare. The way that we do it, which I wouldn't say is the best way, it's just how we've been doing it, is drummers bring their cymbals and their snare. Now we have cymbals and we have snares, but most of the time the drummers have their preference, and we don't have any drummers that have crap gear. Their gear's good, so we're not usually put in a position where we have to worry about tone. Most of our drummers are heartbeat cymbal carrying drummers, and then they also have it's like, try that again. So most of our drummers have heartbeat cymbals. Some of them have B8 dark cymbals. I also have the darks because I prefer their tone. They're just really good on a mic, in my opinion. So basically none of our drummers carry bad stuff. It's all really good things. Sounds good, easy to mic. What did I do that for? That was a lot of effort for nothing. I got confused by the label. I think this is the power trunk, and actually it doesn't have a case label on it yet, so we will fix that. For the last 4 or 5 years, I've been buying equipment, having my cables made and all that from Elite Core. They're a really, really good company out of Arkansas. I've established a good relationship with all those guys. I would love to give them tens of thousands of dollars of more business. If I had it, I would just give it to them. Not even kidding. However, the cases that they sell, the OSP cases, like, they're okay, but I don't think they're awesome. Like, they do the job, but I don't think they're amazing. And I can say that now, having had them for a while. So I've got probably 6, you know, different cases. And my biggest gripe is the build quality. Everything's thin. They just move too much when they're weighted. I hate that. It's not helpful to me. So, we buy most of our cases now, like our rack cases and even our road cases. If we use the EWI stuff from Audiophile or Audiopile or whatever it is, they're so much better. It's not even close. They're literally so much better. Higher quality case. I don't have to worry about, you know, lids getting twisted and all that. They're just so much better. I really have had not a lot of great experience with the OSP stuff. The support from Elite Core, who I buy them from, it has nothing to do with Elite Core either. It's just the case line that they carry. I just don't like them. But everything else from Elite Core that they make themselves is just top notch. It is so good. I love having them as a partner with us. That's just a good decision for us. Okay. Running a little thin on mics because we have so much stuff out right now. We've got C1000s, we got 57s. I think we can make this work. The only reason I'm even taking this case is mostly for the backline stuff, because all of our vocals are wireless. But I don't, on these kind of shows where stuff's out for a month, I don't ever send just like wireless and then nothing else. Especially when there's other groups going to use equipment. I don't want the possibility that they can't make something happen if they need to. Nice. Okay. That's the 2x4. Okay. Now, drum hardware. This is one of our master kits for drum hardware. We get 2 DW cymbal stands, DW hi-hat with a clutch. We always send a clutch, even though most of our drummers are pretty good about bringing them. And then we've got a rack and sock seat that goes, a snare stand, a high tom stand because we don't use rack toms. Then of course the 2 toms have their own legs, and the legs go in the hardware kit. Come on. Yeah. Here's all our other small ones. Take this gator and this guy. Actually, it would be kind of a waste to take all these out. So, oh yeah. And then we have the regular stands. We have like our bum stands that just don't hold very well anymore, and they kind of been abused. We basically chuck them in here and they become holders for like iPads and those kind of things. Okay. Let's do these boxes out. This is actually one of the road kits. Stick that over here. Oh, I did bring them. They're here. Sick. Well, that's convenient. Okay, so I don't have to go to building 3 for that quite yet, but I do need flex cases. All right, it is day 2 at camp. Obviously, like I've said before, we don't put kids on YouTube, so I'm getting ready to leave. I've loaded in camp. Here's some footage of that, just from the phone and stuff that we were able to take. Pretty tight timeline for getting stuff in here. I had buses to deal with, and luckily a good crew who was available to help. So this is Faith Heights in Donnelly, Idaho. This is our campground, and I've loaded in our camp basically for the next 2 weeks. So we'll have equipment up here for about 15 or so days, while we're also still handling other production we have for some other services and events that we do during the week. And I'll be coordinating and managing those teams. But I am leaving here and getting ready to go to Los Angeles for our show this week with Harvest. So quite a different change. Trees and the middle of the mountains, to the opposite of that, the stadium where the Angels play. Just wrapped up here in the trailer. This is production's trailer for this camp. and our crew will rotate in and out of here. It's pretty nice. Nice and cool. It's got great AC. You know, kind of a living space area, and then pretty great little kitchen. You know, easy to use, working fridge and freezer. Good counter space. We end up just putting a lot of gear in here usually, and on the camps that I oversee, where I'm here the full time, we have, you know, radios and stuff that we keep in here. So this is what we call change out. You know, keep all the RF for crew and security and stuff for the bigger camps. In this one, pretty great walk-in shower, nice back bedroom away from everything else. So in terms of like a trailer, it's pretty awesome. So crew trailer, I've got a little Maverick coffee cup here, fired up, ready to go. I'm heading back to Boise literally right now, and so I've got this basically prepped up for our crew to rotate in and out of for the next couple of days. I've got somebody taking over for us all the way through Tuesday night, and then crew relief comes in Wednesday for the next set of camps. It's a lot of logistics, and all of that. It's kind of a mess to keep track of, but the truth is that all of it happens. It happens well. There's plenty of good people involved, so it's not too crazy. It's 10:49 in the morning, and so we are leaving pretty well on time. Gonna go get a refill on some coffee, drink some more water, because it is dry up here. And then we're also taking the trailer back for the next set of people who are going to be loading it with food and all that to come up for our high school camp, which starts on Wednesday. Take more stuff. Right, come on. We're gone. I'm just leaving with a fresh coffee from one of our stops here that we use in Cascade. And I have my name written on the chest mount, just the last name. And this is the first time that someone's commented on the GoPro. But my last name is Hackler. And they immediately thought that it said hacker, and then they wanted to know why I was filming with a camera. It said hacker. Because we're in a town of like a couple hundred, passing through getting coffee and fuel. And so that lady was really interested to know why I would be filming with a camera and it says hacker on the front. She was nervous. Which, if you live remote, I did it for a long time. I get it. Hacker. That was a good time. Well, now we're just stuck in traffic on US 95 or 55, US 55. The view's not bad though. You get to be stuck in traffic next to a river. Nonetheless though, gonna be waiting here a while. Sometimes these wait times are like 40 minutes just in the heat. And this rig has no air conditioning or air that works, so it's just gonna be hot. Luckily it's only 88. Still, not very fun. All right, well, we made it. Almost 3 hours later. Normally, That trip's about an hour and 45 minutes. It's 98 miles to camp. But there was a ton of traffic and 2 big stops. It's like 3 places they're working on the road and other things, but there's a lot of backed up traffic, hundreds and hundreds of cars. I went through like 2 rotations of flaggers with maybe 100 or 200 cars in each line, just stuck on Highway 55. So 3 hours later, we are back. We're dropping this trailer, our 6x10, because literally in like 10 minutes, the group that's going to do the young adult service tonight in the park in 100-degree weather will be taking it. And then after it's done, it comes back here and gets ready to be prepped for camp food for the Wednesday trip. So we're going to disconnect this real fast. Pull the jack down. And then we're prepping our flight to LA. A couple of things I need as a show tech for this one. I've got a sound bullet that goes with me. Usually a small Pelican case that gets packed. I need 6 days worth of clothes, which means 8 days worth of clothes. They get pretty nasty doing show load-ins. We're gonna be outside on this one in Angel Stadium, so we are gonna have a lot of heat, a lot of sweat, a lot of getting burnt. But it'll be a good show. Well, we are right at 100 again. According to the weather, we have a bunch of 102, 103 days, double 106 days, 107 day. So this heat is not gonna give any breaks at all. So my stint at camp is done for junior high. Like I was saying earlier, I now go home to pack for the LA trip, which starts tomorrow. I need to be in Los Angeles by 8 a.m. or so, so I've got like a 5:40 flight on Delta to get there on time tomorrow. I made sure to think ahead because the hotel that I booked has a Starbucks in the lobby, and that's just gonna save on my time. That was such a good option the moment I saw it. I was like, yes, we're doing that. Also, remember when I said that this isn't a bus channel and every video has been about a bus? Well, guess what? I've got an update on the buses again. Here's the update. Tragedy. Failure. No, just kidding. That bus, the one that's weirdly parked, died yesterday. Didn't ever make it back to the church on its own. Had to be towed here. So driveline is out of it at the moment. The engine wouldn't stay running. It'll turn over, but it's not firing, which either it's one of 3 things. That can be a fuel issue, which is probably what it is. It's just not getting fuel. And that can be one of many things. Could be injection pressure off of the IPR. It's not reading from the H-pop well, the high pressure oil pump. And if that's not reading well, then it's not going to generate any impulse for injectors. So that's a thing. We did get like an oil pressure code at one point. So we know we have oil pressure, but it could be a faulty sensor communicating no H-pop pressure to the ECM, so it's not giving any injector pulse. That could be a thing. It's just so many things it could be. So bus 4 is going to continue to go, but 73 and 74 are both out. And 74 now is a cracked windshield. Took a rock right in the middle, and it does obstruct driver view. So really, in all honesty, those buses are done for the year. They're going to need bigger maintenance, and both need to get out to Fruitland for that. So no luck on those buses for now. So we've hired Brown Bus Company to do the rest of our camp run, which for me means I have more logistics to handle, even while I'm gone, just to make sure all of those things go smooth. So sure is on par for July. That's how I know it to be. So we'll just keep mushing through those things and get our prep done. But now we need to focus on our LA trip, because we leave early tomorrow, and I need to have all of my stuff ready to go. So we're gonna go pack and get set up for that.